Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Tuesday, October 2nd, 2018. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here is a look at the daily time frame of the ES. Right now, you can clearly see the uptrend is clearly intact. The market's been trending up over the last several months, and again, we have a higher value relationship, price holding right here. Again, what we're seeing at the moment is a bit of a failed new low developing. You can see right here, price pushed down below the previous month's close price and currently has pushed back above the previous session's low and the previous month's close. So again, it appears like it wants to try to push higher. Getting through the 2930s would be significant. And remember, the FOMC key level here is the 2927 half level, and price continues to chop around that zone with no clear decisive move away from that level yet, which means a decisive move is likely coming. Is it going to be to the upside? Perhaps. Again, this market has been very, very strong, and I mentioned before that while we could see a pullback of some magnitude this month, I wouldn't necessarily look to sell it just yet. Instead, I'd still be looking to buy the dips until proven otherwise. An area to buy the dips would be here at 2900 to 2905 or so, and then again perhaps even as low as 2860 to 2865. That could be another spot if this were to rotate as low. So again, any pullback still buying opportunity. Now, one thing to keep in mind here, any failure to hold, say the 2917 level, opens up more downside, and again we could open up a move to that 2900 to 2905. So right now this market, again, just kind of getting straightened out to begin the month of October. If there's a failure to really get back above the FOMC key level here, that could spark a little bit more of a pullback. So playing this one a little bit close to the vest right now as we watch it develop. I think overall a bigger move could be coming, but right now got to be patient. If you take a look here at the NQ, you'll notice here the NQ started the month of October with a rejection here, a rejection of the previous month's high. Price rejected and pulled back. Right now also pulling back and retesting the FOMC key level from basically from September 26th here. That's the 7630.75 level. We're testing it right now and bouncing a hair, but again, this right here is a bit of rejection, and typically when that occurs, you can see a pullback into the pivot range for the month at the very least, and we haven't tested it just yet. We've gotten close, and at the most we could come out and take out the recent low. Again, that would be a buying opportunity at each of those zones for the bulls. If you were a part of the PivotBoss monthly outlook yesterday afternoon, thank you for being a part of that. If you weren't, I did put a recording together and put that out. I will be mailing that out as well. So there is a recording out here, and we talked about the various short, medium, and long-term trade opportunities with the NQ and some of these others. The short-term idea was that we could get a rotation downward today, in addition to a longer push backward, and then from here there could be some buy that takes us into the end of October, wherever that pullback takes us to, and then from there it could even be a continuation into the end of the year. So we'll look at a couple of those scenarios and see how they develop. But right now, again, everything's trending up, so I'm looking for some sort of a pullback and then for a follow-up buy opportunity for a continuation higher into the end of the month. So that's what I'm looking for initially. We'll see how that continues to pan out. Let's take a look here at crude oil. You'll notice here with crude, we're sitting just above the key range high. Crude has been on fire to the upside the last 2 days. It's been pretty bullish ever since the pullback down here to 6630s. Again, that was a zone where we talked about could be a good buy opportunity. It's been even better than we could have thought. It's been pretty significant to the upside when it's gotten going. The last 2 mornings have started with 60-minute rejections in the 60-minute chart. Both of those were very evident and clear. Both of those led to significant rallies day over day. Not that we'll do that again today, but the 60-minute chart showing a lot right now. Price is holding completely above the previous high here, that key range high. Again, anytime we get outside of range, It's going to be very important to see if there's acceptance, because if there's any failure to continue to hold above 75 or 75.25, we could see an easy pullback to the breakout point at the very least. That'd be about 73.70, 73.50. And then a shot to pull back a little bit more, perhaps into the pivot range for the month. But again, that could be another buying opportunity down the way. So right now, watching the digestion. I mentioned yesterday also in the monthly outlook that after a major day up like we saw yesterday, there's a tendency to pull back somewhat and also build a range and digest that recent move. So we could be a fade the edges type of day today in the intraday time frame, with the potential to be see some sort of pullback to the mean, followed by another continuation higher. All right, let's take a look now at gold futures. Gold futures continues to look modestly bullish, but continues to show signs that a downside break is imminent. Again, lower value relationship, overlapping lower value for this month. You can see price right here pushing above the previous month's close, the blue dotted line today, and now back below. Again, that's not a full-on rejection, but right now retesting 96 from above, 95 from below, could be an intraday selling opportunity as it retests value, VWAP, VPOC, and the previous close all in that area. That could get this party started to the downside pretty significantly. So again, look at this. You got a downward move. These are downward moves. Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. And right now you're seeing a failed new high at the upper end of the range. You're seeing it at a pivot range that is a downward lower value relationship. Again, that is usually a recipe for new lows. A push back above 1200 would cause a squeeze back toward 1220 and perhaps even higher. That would occur if price were to say push downward and reject, in which case we'd likely see a push back above this high, and that would take you higher. So again, right now bears have the upper hand, but that doesn't mean they win. Again, bears looking to defend 1195, 1196 from below for a shot at new lows and perhaps dropping into the 1165s. All right, lastly, taking a look at the YM. You'll notice here with the YM, this one looks bullish. You have an uptrending market. It's been a very clear uptrending market. Here's the FOMC key level. It was below at first, then it popped above yesterday. It's holding as support now. Typically, that looks like it's a bullish scenario where this thing can pop higher and go. But in this scenario, price really needs to hold the previous month's close and two-day lows. We have an inside day relationship. This needs to hold in order for a continuation to go. Any failure to hold that level opens up quite a pullback, because you take out the recent pivot low and retest some level down below, perhaps as low as LVN down here and the previous low here, at which point, again, if that scenario were to play out, it would be a nice longer term buying opportunity heading into the end of the year. So again, not sure something like that were to happen, but this would be a great opportunity to defend for a longer term play into the end of the year should it happen. So right here again, very clear. Bulls are trying to keep this area bid for a shot at continuing higher today. Any failure to hold the 26.515s or so would suggest weakness ahead. So again, those are a few of the key levels to watch on some of these markets as we head into the rest of the session. That is it for now. Let's see how it plays out the rest of the week. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room.